fight. Welcome to the Spartan Arena, where minds clash and thoughts gleam. In the heat of every word, truth and insight will be heard. Buckle up and take your stance. In this arena there's no chance to escape the vibrant lore. Dive in deep and search for more. From heartfelt talks to fierce debates, we explore what fate creates. Side by side we seek the light. In the dark our minds ignite. Welcome to the Spartan Arena, where minds clash and thoughts gleam. In the heat of every word, truth and insight will be heard. Will be heard. Will be heard.
Spartans! What is your profession? This is Sparta!
What is going on, buddy? We're back at it with another stream, another live. You know where you're at. You're at Spartan SU Network. I'm your host, the Spartan, HK, aka Peter. Wow, that was done twisted for some reason. So, how is everybody doing tonight? Give me a big thumbs up in the chat if you're doing well. As always, you know I have to drop these bombs, this interesting conversation. Did men forget how to speak to women? That is the question of the night. And it's an interesting conversation because I don't think we actually sit down and have that conversation. But I can't do this by myself, guys. I got to bring my little helpers in. Let's bring my first little helper. Of course, I'm talking about little Groot, baby bear, or whatever you want to call himself tonight. What's going on, my dude?
Ladies and gentlemen, this is Bear Paul. There's nothing little about me. I'm 6'2", 290 pounds. I don't know why they keep calling me little. But again, I'm a threat to the community I'm in when I'm walking around. Yeah. I'm from New York. We know people around my height or taller, as big as me. You don't call them little. You just keep your mouth shut and keep it moving. You dig?
All right, let's get our next person here. He's from across the border. He is from UK. My boy, the UK. Hey, I didn't plan him this early. I gotta give him some kind of music. My man, how are you doing tonight?
I'm good. Just been busy.
This is good. It's very good, actually. So, gentlemen, I have a question for you guys. Do you think men forget how to talk to women?
Yes,
That was fast.
David
Go ahead.
forgot.
I mean, why? Say that. Go ahead. I'm listening. Why? Why do you think that?
Being stuck alone for a long time, not having much interaction with the opposite sex.
Okay. All right, David, you're up.
I would say yes and no. And I have my reason behind it because I think this is where I will say it again. When we mention men, it's not fair to paint with a broad brush. That's number one. Number two, you got to figure out what group of men are you referring to. I've been saying that phrase for the past 2 years now, and I'm noticing that people in general like to paint men in general. They all think the same. Not exactly. We are men, masculine, yes, but we are broken up in multiple sector, multiple section based on our
Mm-hmm.
ideology, our philosophy, our foundation, on our headspace, and what driven us. So when I say yes and no, there are some men who, when I say that they're arranged, we have men, we got adult male, we got boys, and at the bottom of the barrel we have Pookie and Wewe. Yes, yes, I said it, ladies and gentlemen. I don't care. We have men who are built different, brought up different, way different, that understand the sense of responsibility of being a man. Some were taught probably by their elder before them, like fathers or uncle. Thank you, Marietta. You see what I'm saying? Some know how to talk to men. I mean, talk to women. Correction. But there's an issue when we deal with that. The word women. Not everyone is a woman. Not every female you see out there is actually a woman.
Ooh, don't give. Oh, I'm gonna. I
This
got.
is,
I
this
got
is
ammo on that
why
one.
I warn people when you bring me this type of conversation, I'm going in on the juggler. Just like I said, we have men, adult males, boys, and Pookie and Wayway. On the other side of the fence, we have women, we have ladies, adult females, we got girls. But don't forget there's a dark side. They're the 3 or 4 and the other side of the spectrum. Not every female you see conduct themselves as a woman.
Mm-hmm.
Every female you see conduct themselves as a lady. A lot of them fall in the adult female, right? But they're not sure who they really are. They pretend to be something they're not, or they trump up their value whereby their value is not consistent with their action they portray. This is why I always ask this question. What is our number one issue in today's society? What are we having? Our number one issue is social media broke down the barrel of communication in multiple ways, form, and fashion.
Oh, it made it worse.
Oh, not worse is not in the words. It tanked it, completely tanked it. Because I shout out to our OGs out there, what we know podcast, information man. There's a select few names I can put out there. Coach Ferd, Paul Bennett. The list can go on. They talk about communication skills a lot of times. Whereby we didn't have social media. We didn't have the cell phone. We didn't have the beeper. You had to talk to an individual face to face. How you approach a person, how you address a person. Now, some of us was able to train our communication skill based on the nature of our job. Perfect example, white collar job whereby you in the office and you're dealing with more than 1,000, 2,000, 10,000 user, or we call you that individuals. We got to learn how to communicate with these individuals, either male or female, depending on their
Mhm.
rank. So when you learn how to build your communication, 'cause especially if you are a banker or you're into the fast, when you're speaking with somebody in a corporate realm, you got to figure out how to communicate or address your idea or call without being disrespectful. That helps you hone your craft. Now, those who don't have the ability, shout out to my elder here, Coach First, don't have the ability how to communicate with the individual in that stuff nature, and that may be outside, they may carry the street lingo into the mix of the conversation, and everything can turn left or turn right depending on which direction you're going. But I'm not gonna I'm not gonna put my glove back on and say that's not what it is. Yes, that is the issue at hand. So it's not about you don't know how to communicate, you don't know how to articulate what your main agenda is.
Mhm.
That's another factor as well. And I digress.
All right, Coach, what's going on? How are you?
Coach,
Coach, can you hear us? He needs a minute. So, hey, Mariana, what's going on?
Everything is all right. Lousy song choice. Just
What's
saying.
going on?
Everything's all right. And this is a very interesting topic you have there. Do men forget to talk to women? It's a
It's my job. You
yes.
know that.
Yeah. It's a yes and a no for me. And
All right.
not all men are the
Fine.
same. You have, by viewing how society is right now, you have men that embarrass their own woman no matter what. Those are not, that's not considered like what's the word? A genuine man or alpha male. You have a man that is almost like a narcissistic behavior. That, belittled or embarrassed from the family, friends. That's not to me. And then you have men will be very genuine that are, do really care. They care about their family, care about their spouse, their children, because it's two divided groups, I will say. So as I say, not all men are the same. And I see men when I was growing up in the streets. I mean, not in the streets. I mean, when I was growing up in New York, I'm sorry. I see men yell at their women and say, "Yo, bitch, come here." Is that appropriate? Like this
No,
is this is how you talk to a woman? Like, come on. That's to me, that's totally out of the line. And then you have a man that say, "Oh, honey, oh, sweetie," all sweet words. So yeah, it's two divided groups of men that willing, that able to talk to a woman, and vice versa. Sometimes women don't know how to talk to men either. Okay, I hate to say that because I always see social media also display that. I didn't like, and even a woman tell his boyfriend, sometimes you're a bitch. Like, really? Is it necessary? Come on. So it's the facts.
okay. Coach, you're up.
Okay, so what was the initial question?
I haven't really gotten into the question. What's your opinion on opening the show? Is do men forget how to talk to
Just
men?
the title?
Yeah.
Oh, just based on. In YouTube, yes, it appears that way. In real life, no. And this is sort of, your topics are always thought provoking, right? But to me, now, talking is one thing, communication is another, right? And I don't know, where people live when most men that know women may come at them sort of derogatory. It may be some guys that if you're out and about and try to talk to a young lady, she sort of brush him off, then he may call her a name or two. But I don't see it where most people who live in the same community may just speak to each other that way. Or maybe it's a new thing in certain parts of the country. But um, but I'm older. Yes. 45s and unders. Yeah, y'all struggle with communication with each other, relationships, just getting to know somebody, even asking them their favorite color to their favorite food, things like that. Favorite person in their family, just having authentic conversation. And yeah, and a lot of people have, since COVID, it exposed a lot of social emotional deficiencies in the American um, working man and woman. You can see it all over YouTube. YouTube allows people to come to space, and it's unique about it that we can have conversations with each other if we're not trying to be in a relationship with each other. We can get up here and argue and have known each other 5 minutes if we're not trying to have a relationship. But soon as two people in the same vicinity may be attracted to each other, now it's complicated. We don't know what to say. Or, I always believe that once you realize somebody's mistreating you, you have the power to walk away. Or you just choose, or it's something that you're seeking outside of that. Maybe a parent didn't give you love, or you believe that, or you was in a prior bad relationship and you didn't know how to respect your own love and value yourself. I can see that, but as far as men not learning in YouTube, yeah, but in the real streets, no. YouTube, you got some people who've been kicked down the road of life, and it's either a man's fault or a woman's fault. Very few people say, you know what, I messed that up. I messed that up. But that doesn't mean you hold on to that for 5-10 years in your future. You realize it's past you, you already lived it. So why not make the best of the years in front of you and avoid the type of trigger that you'd have to leave? But I don't know, it takes time, it takes practice.
See, from what I have
You
seen
know,
in the real streets, younger crowds don't like talking sometimes. They prefer texting or going through Facebook. And when they see a cute girl in a store or out in public, they won't go up and say hi. Just say hi. Hi. And they won't even do that because they are so awkward. Awkward. I can't pronounce the fucking word. You know what I'm trying to say.
Awkward.
yeah. But that's the difference, Sparta, between the new age technology and old school, right?
Right.
Old school, we had to do that. When you was a kid, teenager, you had to go, hey, how you doing? Give her our little rap game, as we call it, to win her over. Social media, especially the way it's used for young people, they actually have communication circles outside of these big platforms. So they're going to go to it and may have a conversation with somebody, and then, hey, let's hook up. See, as far as that face to face, looking at the mannerisms, the tone of voice, and little movements, you can only see somebody's face on social media. So I don't know, man. It's too many single people out here, because it's not just the young folk, it's the older folk too, who are socially awkward nowadays. Everybody's sort of sheltered in.
Mhm.
You can't survive like that.
I agree.
You get to talking to yourself. The walls get to caving in on you. So don't do that.
David, you had something to say before?
I would say this. We're not here in Brooklyn, New York. It's a yes or no that some young generation don't like to talk to female because they don't know how to talk. Another part is whereby they may have a way of talking to female, but they don't want to go through the level of rejection. If you know what I'm talking about, meaning one, Mariana is correct. Some female don't know how to talk to men. They get very, very disrespectful. And it can lead to a lot of problems. So I want to say, yeah, some guys don't know how to talk. I beg to differ. Some know, some do it, some don't. Some choose not to because the way the present generation is, it's all about the disrespect, and they take it too far. And you can see, what Mariana said, they will record that disrespect and be very disrespectful about it. Nah, Bob, and like it's not that serious. Hello, good morning. How you doing? It's a lovely day. I like how you look. Man, I'm good. All that unnecessary. So the younger generation say, you know what? We're not gonna waste our time talking. We just keep it moving, or had the term, keep it pushing. So it go from both angles. Some know how to talk. Some know how to handle the rejection to move on. Some are not willing to go to that rejection, rather be by themselves. You have young females who are worse than a sailor, if I don't mind saying, and they go off the handle. Perfect example. I was saw an interview a young brother, but interview a young girl about black women hair and how they're dressed whatsoever, and he was being very, very respectful when asking the question. Then we have young women who got off the mouth being very disrespectful, calling him out his name, and he had to control his temperament and still get disrespected. So I'm not gonna put all the emphasis on men alone when we had girls who can never be ladies based on how they conduct themselves. That's the case of it. So I digress.
I want to touch base on one thing you said earlier, David, before everybody jumped in. You said sometimes you may be talking to a man or to a woman because you really don't know who you talk to right now anymore these days. Correct?
Some, I'm gonna say this: there are women who are not women, and there are men who are not men, meaning based on the range. I'm not talking about the transformers out there. I'm not referring to that.
Okay, I
What I'm
thought that's what you
referring
meant.
to, when I'm referring to how they conduct themselves
Okay.
as a whole. You ain't seen their dress properly. The moment they open their mouth,
That's a wrap.
that's the issue. Yes. Mariana because she's seen New York City people. They can be very, very brutal. They don't really care. You can say, good morning, good evening, you look beautiful. I didn't ask you for all that. Why you tell me I look beautiful? What? All the hands signal, all
Oh,
that
time
stuff.
out, time out, time out, time out a second. Somebody's mic is echoing. So whoever it is, can you mute it, please?
That's
No.
not me.
All right.
But get what I'm saying. I mean, I've seen that thing where they be all with the hand, all with the attitude. You just say good morning, you look beautiful. All of a
Yep.
sudden, hey, give me that compliment. You know, my
Mhm. Yeah. Yep.
so this is why they're getting mad that when something happened to them, hey, and all the men going like this, we ain't got time for that no more. You on
Mhm.
your own. You independent, stay independent.
Mhm.
Hey, don't get mad if you're being disrespectful. This is a normal thing about New York City women, most of them. A very
Yep.
small percent of New York City women have decorum. The rest is out the window. So you can't get mad with men who don't want to save nobody. They see you in trouble, they walk away. They say we had enough. So it doesn't matter. They don't know how to talk. When women don't know how to appreciate compliment or appreciate help or be respectful when a man being respectful to them in the first place. So it's both and on the road. Either you don't want a man to talk to you or you don't want a man to talk to you. Which one it is?
Mm-hmm.
And since you want to put the sprinkle, or the other stuff, You make it easier for men not want to talk to you anymore.
And that's a fact, David. Men don't want to speak to women because one, they don't get slap besides their head, screamed at, or get the attitude out. Mariana, I remember you telling me you had somebody you worked with that was talking more like a sailor and not
Mhm.
respectful. Am I right or wrong?
You're right. Yeah, like a sailor, and it's it was annoying. It's like totally out of line. So it got to the point I'm like, are you serious? Like this is how, a man's supposed to be? That's like, come on. Like it's not civil.
But here the issue to that.
Mm-hmm.
We talked about it in past show and other platform.
Mm-hmm.
We were there's no app on a communicator being practiced. Perfect example. The one thing most of the idiotic adult female or girl complain about is that men want to take them out on a date based on quote unquote how much you want men to spend on them. So the man said, let's have a coffee date. What does a coffee date does? It forces you to have a simple sat sat down conversation to get all the cover and understand how to communicate with one another. You're not spending 200, 300, 400 like most of these
Mm-hmm.
idiotic female want you to do. You having a coffee, you may have a donut or a muffin, depend, and you have a unique conversation without the texting. You get eye contact, you understand the body language, and get to know the person. The problem is we have too many wannabe women or ladies that are not in that category. They're more in the girls or the 3 or 4 category, but
Mm-hmm.
they don't know how to communicate their goddamn self. That is the number one issue right here. I'm a fan of the coffee. And let me know who you are, what you are. You have a unique conversation. You figure out what you like, what you don't like, what's your favorite color, what you're into, your background, what your educational background, if it might be, what you're into, what kind of activity you're into. You build a connection, a unique, proper connection. The problem is a lot of them don't know how to communicate. They don't know how to articulate.
Mm-hmm.
They don't know how to have a conversation. It's more, oh God, you take me here? Oh, I don't want no bean juice. So you
Mm-hmm.
want a $300 meal, Willie? Oh, I forgot. They're counting food stamp.
Mm-hmm.
So good luck with that one.
Yep.
Mariana, you have anything to say on this?
What is that again?
Do you have anything to say on this?
Um, Referring to the topic, just
Hmm. Yeah.
well, I mean, I will say it's a problematic. I will say, like, I don't like the fact that you could, like, okay, for instance, a guy could be straightforward, like, show one side of him, but then there's the other side of him. So he's like a Jekyll and Hyde in one.
Okay.
So, it's like two personalities. So you could be like, you're gonna treat, your current, let's say, girlfriend nice, but then you're gonna treat your ex-girlfriend like crap. So it's like that Jekyll Hyde effect. I mean, it's just back to the topic. Does men don't know how to talk to women? It's a yes and no. I mean, some, as I say, there's some men are, willing to be genuine and some are not, which is unfortunate, and the same as women. So, um, you know, it just is also the behavior, how they display, and it's also if they kind of have something up, and then if they don't even like, let's say they don't like their women and just like to embarrass them, that's not a real man. Like that's like because I hate to say, I always look at through, strolling through YouTube, I see how men forced to push the woman's head to the cake. Why? Like in a birthday cake. Why you want to ruin a birthday cake? And if I find it funny, or let's say, for argument's sakes, it's stupid stuff. It's pointless. So Yeah, it just doesn't make sense to me. It's like either you either want to be in a relationship or not. If you're not want to be in a relationship, then don't even bother to act like that. So
All right,
that's
guys.
that.
All right, let's get this guy in here. Ladies and gentlemen, please rise for our president. Your boy did
Hey,
a
hey,
freaking
hey, hey,
UK
Craig,
salute.
Craig, do it like the Benny Hill salute used to be like back in the day. Remember Benny Hill show? He used to do it like this.
I just
Paul,
smacked
you're
Shout out
up.
to the
right in the head then.
shout out to the
All right, Paul, you're up. Go ahead.
on.
The topic: do men forget how to talk to women?
I
Well,
would probably
Paul
say
definitely
I
didn't
would
because
I
he's
would
got
probably
wife.
say no. I think look, me and Coach go back a while. The reality is most guys didn't know how to talk to women. I didn't know how to talk to women.
Mhm.
In turn, if you want to talk about having game, if you want to talk about the type of guy who can just go up and just say this, that, and the third, the guy didn't have a dollar to his name, but somehow he's driving in the woman's car or whatever, just had that kind of charisma with women. Most men don't have that, period. So I would say it's not so much an issue of whether or not men have lost the skill or the art of talking to women. And the bottom line, even if you're good at it, you're gonna strike out more times than not. The question is going to be, are you going to have the resilience to go and talk again or approach the next one if someone's not feeling you that way? Because some women are taken, some or with somebody else. So are you going to keep shooting your shot? So this whole thing about, this notion that back in the day you could just talk to a woman and get her is like, no, it was never that way, especially the attractive ones. I mean, I'm going back 40 plus years in the 80s, and I don't remember that. And the guys, and again, in my day, the guys who got the girls were some of the, as far as character wise, some of the worst character guys, but they could make a girl laugh. They had game. They dressed in certain ways or whatever. But certainly, if that was my daughter, I'd say don't even touch that guy. So there was a thing where girls would want to go after the quote unquote the bad boy. So no, I don't think it's necessarily gotten worse in terms of a man's ability to talk to a woman. But I think certainly what has changed is expectations have changed to just extremely unrealistic means. And you see this like on shows, like I know now we're in this pop the balloon culture where as soon as someone comes out, you didn't even hear a word that they said. As soon as they appear, pop. Like you don't want to get to know anybody, right? You don't want to give somebody a chance to say, oh, this person might be deep. You're not interested in what this person thinks.
Mhm.
So I think this sort of fear or this expectation that is highly unreasonable is where the issue is as far as people not getting together or dating or, what have you. I just think that people are just, and again, I think social media has had a lot to do with that in terms of, painting what the ideal person is or what you need to be looking for, or girl, you need to go for this, or guys, you need to go for that. Or I think Coach was mentioning earlier about this whole manosphere, YouTube culture and what is created. And if a woman's not all these things, or if a man isn't all these things, it's, don't even bother. I mean, dating is a risk, or talking to someone's going to be a risk. And I think you have a lot of people, because of fear, they're risk averse. And it is limiting your opportunities to really jive and meet with someone, at least to say, I mean, I like David's idea of going for coffee dates or whatever. That's perfect. I used to do that, quite a bit, especially when I was really in wife seeking mode. Coffee dates was perfect. But the question is, how many of those are you willing to go through before you get a shot? It's the same principle that I talked about last week about resumes and interviews. It's about how many times are you willing to shoot your shot. And somebody, you're so afraid of being rejected that one time, and then you complain about, oh, well, there's no good women out here, there's no good men out here, and you just hear all this negative talk that's just reinforced. But back even in my day and me and Coach's day, if you wanted to get girls, you had to be willing to get shot down. You had to go into the club, and more times than not, in the club, you would get shot down more times than not. And you'd have to take that slow walk back over to your side with your boys or whatever. And then the question was going to be, okay, there's another one over there. Why don't you go try it with her? Are you willing to go back and do it again? And just most people are just not willing to do that. But all I know is, look, I was willing to talk to 99 and get one. And the same thing happens in sales, in business, in any other endeavor. You got to shoot your shots. And it doesn't matter. And if a girl really, back in my day, correct me if I'm wrong, Coach, if a girl really liked you, it didn't really matter what you said. Right? It really didn't matter. If they like you, they like you. You could be stumbling over your words or whatnot. You didn't have suave game and baby this, and you didn't have to do all this rapping and stuff. They just rock with you because they rock with you.
That was it.
So again, this idea of, and I blame some of the manosphere on this because again, you had these guys coming up. What was that, Project 21 or something like that? Some 21 convention or something. These guys were, paying money to go to these conferences so they could learn how to do, game, how to have game with women and all this kind of stuff that they were hyping all these young men up for, trying to kind of what, the guy Tate and some of these other guys were trying to do, but I guess they were trying to teach you sort of positive ways how to do it. And I'm like, it's never really been that way. I mean, yes, you need to work on yourself, your professional, intellectual, spiritual life. You need to work on those things as personal, individual pursuits on your own. And obviously people are going to be attracted to that if you're being your best. But to actually have meetings and seminars together to teach guys how to have game. I mean, I just thought that was kind of ridiculous. So yeah, I don't think the methods or the modes of communication has really, if anything, has gotten better because you do have these other interfaces which you could talk to somebody. Back in the day, we had to write letters, handwritten or typed letters, going back and forth with somebody. Now you can do it in an instant with a chat or an email or whatever. So I think it's better. You have more things, more ways to connect and interact with people until you decide, okay, this might be worth exploring in person in a one-on-one personal space. But it's always been hard. And I don't know where we got this notion that people were just, guys were so, so much smoother back a generation ago. I just don't get that.
So, Paul, would you say now you feel this is easier than before? Technology helped?
You have more opportunity. It's just like in sales, right? You get leads. Sometimes you get these lead sheets and access. You pay for access into certain clubs or certain networks for more opportunities. But that's all it is. It's simply an opportunity to communicate. That's all it is. You have more areas. Like I said, back in the day, you had to go to the club, or you went to maybe you lucked out in the grocery store. Maybe you looked out in the library or the bookstore. I don't know. It's a background in here, but
yeah, somebody's echoing. I'm trying to figure who it's coming from. Go ahead, Paul.
But I mean, you didn't have these sort of social spaces with which to meet people. And so I think having more options through which you can at least initiate a dialogue to see if it can go further into something. I mean, back in the day, you used to go on blind dates, right? Or you just literally met the person in the afternoon. Maybe you were at the beach, maybe you were at the store, something like that. Say, hey, can I get your number? Hey, can I call you tonight? Hey, are you doing anything tonight? You don't even know this person. And you were willing to go out with them to like the pizza shop or whatever it was and see if you could get something going. But now you got these sites, look, profiles can be fake and we've all heard the stories of people going out on these social network dates and bad things happening. But again, that could have happened. That could have happened in any mode of day. Back in the day, like I said, again, you didn't have cell phones. You didn't have 911. You just, if something went off, just to hit the emergency button. You didn't have a lot of things. It was like literally you had to meet somebody somewhere, dress up, and be willing to, to meet them, certainly in a public setting. Or sometimes you would go in a car with somebody and have get picked up. You would pick them up in your car. You worried about making sure your car was clean, right? You took it to the car wash. You put the new scent trees in it, and you made sure everything was good before you picked her up. Now people are taking 6 months before they have a first date, which is, to me, in my view, ridiculous.
I agree. Paul, I'll be honest with you. When I meet a new woman in my life, I like to go out on dinner with her in minimum. I mean, and I know I'm really pushing. I know you're going to push back on this one. 3 weeks the latest.
No, I don't.
And I only reason.
Yeah, I don't have an issue with that. I mean, I think if the
I would do it the same week, but schedule doesn't work always.
I don't mind that at all. And I think what it also does is it gets you out of the friend. It keeps you out of the friend zone. I am reaching out to you. I'm talking to you because I find you attractive, and I'd like to get to know you on a romantic basis. So yeah, I'm not going to waste time talking for weeks or months on end before you finally say, "Hey, let's meet up, let's hook up." And it's weird because people don't even want to call it dates anymore. Let's hook up. I'm like, what is that? If I'm taking a woman out, I was like, look, Mariana, would you like to go out with me?
Yes.
I'm gonna say that. I mean, it's just, hey, let's get together, let's have some coffee or what. I mean, look, if it's a little, if I don't know you, yeah, maybe coffee or whatever. But within that, after that coffee thing, I'm gonna know right away. And I think KS was known for saying this as well, as advice to ladies. I said, ladies, do not, under any circumstances, accept a date with someone that you are not physically or sexually attracted to. Do not do it. If you don't think this person's attractive enough to, and I'm not saying you got to even sleep with them. I'm not saying that. I'm saying the attraction needs to be there. It's a go or no go after either that coffee date or first date, if there's going to be a second one or not. But I'm calling it a date. Now, what we do on the date, whether we go to a dinner and a movie, or whether we go to the coffee shop, or whether we go to the something else or whatever, I'm gonna be clear with my intentions towards you. Especially now I'm older. I don't have time for, just hanging out. Hey, let's hang.
I totally agree.
I think you got to be intentional about what you want.
How I do it, I try to be a little joke around with it, like, oh man, you need to try a cuisine. We're just going back and forth. Like, yeah, I like to try that cuisine. Like, well, you will in a week. Like, what do you mean in a week? What are you talking about? Like, oh, we're going out. I didn't tell you that. You need to get the memo. And kind of joking around. Like, oh, you mean like a date? Like, not like a date. It is a date. So I clear that out. I try to be a little funny about it. I'm not no goddamn comedian, but I try to, have a little, laughter in the middle of it, and it usually works for me in the most part. And they say, no, I'm not going to waste my time. Simple as that. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Like I was talking to this young lady actually from my church, and she goes, I don't do dates, all this stuff. I just do, we can go out for dinner. I'm like, I didn't waste my time. And literally, bye. And like, I didn't expect that from her, from being overseas, but hey, I guess that train goes over there. But let's get Sean in here. Hey, Sean, what's going on?
What's going on? I just came to say, F them hope. No, I'm just joking. That's how you talk to them. No. No, in all seriousness, the topic that you had, I did something earlier. I haven't posted it, but I did a little video, and it was basically saying, if in fact, if in fact you trust somebody, that's usually why or how something is received. It has nothing to do with tone. It has nothing to do with approach. It has nothing to do with anything other than the fact that you can trust the person enough to receive it from them. And it's an unfortunate reality, but I'm learning more that that's what it is. If you trust a person, whether you trust them because they're cute, or whether you trust them because their morals, or whether you trust them because they got money, or whatever the reason is that you trust their opinion or their approach, that's what is usually well received. And it's, I don't know. Do y'all feel otherwise? Because I came to that epiphany today.
Want to go first?
Now, someone wants to go first. I'll follow up on that. But go ahead. Just go ahead.
All right, David.
Let's hold on. Let's see. McGregor, what if the wife broken up with me? I wouldn't know.
Yeah, you
David,
muted.
your
And
mic muted, bro.
again, do you have a response for Sean's question, or Sean, do you want to repeat the question?
My question was, is it about how you receive tone, etc., or is it about who you trust that's delivering it when it comes to whatever the
Well,
case?
I'll go first. Personally, is how you receive it, I believe. Because from the person it has to be, if the person who gives me whatever, love, caring, compassion, whatever, if it's like with the like, well, here you go, I'm like, then fuck you, I don't need it. I prefer being by myself then. Is how it's a two-way street, I personally believe. Go ahead, David, you can go now.
I would say it's a mixture of a lot of things. It could be the tone, it could be the body language, it could be the delivery, and the posturing. Because let's be real, if that person really into you, don't make room for you. Let's be clear with that one. Let's be straight up with that one. There's no beat around the bush for that. Because I've seen guys who take their time out, address situation, open their mouths, articulate their point of view and their thought process, and 9 out of 10 they get left hanging or be taken for a ride. Because today's generation of women are, I'll say it again, there are not a lot of mature women out there today. If there were, they are blending in with the 304, with the chicken head, with the quote unquote sisterhood, which is not much of a sisterhood. It's more like the hyenas. But issue is this. Thank you. This is what a lot of good guys who are now deciding to say, you know what, I'm not going to waste my time. I'm just going to focus on my agenda, going to focus on my goal, because they tried in the workspace. Like I said, sometimes they take the chances in their place of their work, or where they go out and eat, or where they commute. Because I hear these conversations. Oh, I spoke to the girl in my church. I spoke to the girl in my job. I spoke to the girl I see out in the gym. They try anywhere and everywhere. And some of them be respectful about it. They're not coming in here, yo, mom, how you doing? Or none of that craziness. But they come respectable. For some apparent reason, look can be deceiving. She can look like a mature woman. Like I said, the moment you open her mouth, all hell break loose. So what do you expect to see? And yes, Mr. Bennett is correct. During the pandemic, it kind of like exposed what's been going on the floor, because at the same time as men are starting to walk away from the dating scene, the good one want to like don't want to feel like coming out anymore. So it's both sides of the street. You can't blame the men not wanting to go out and date, but yet the good ones don't even come out no more. So you can't come to your home if you don't know you're there. That's one. Two, the dating app made it even worse than ever. I'm not gonna lie about that, because sometimes people are catfishing.
Oh yeah, big time.
And that one I've taken to a whole new level. Let's forget the catfishing part. People are doing deep fake with the video to pretend to be something they're not. Let's keep it 100.
My favorite one, David, is when
So,
they're trying to scam you too.
oh, that's the best part. Looking, like I said, looking for a free meal, looking for the rent to get paid, looking to drain you of your resources. This is why I can't blame when people are telling young men, focus on your agenda, build yourself up, stack your money, avoid the dating scene because it's not worth it anymore. When you're
But what
doing
does
your
that even mean, David? What does that even mean?
no, here what I'm pointing out. As men are complaining more and more, they try and take the attempt to go out and date, interact with the opposite sex, then go to these date events. They keep seeing the repeat of the same result. The level of the disrespect, the level of the nonchalant behavior, the level of the disrespectful body language. Mariana understand this. Sometimes you see it even in corporate America when you have an interest in a particular coworker and you try and be respectful. Like they say, if they're not feeling you, they have a way of being disrespectful about it in some cases. Some don't know how to be respectful. Or there's a very select few know how to say, I'm sorry, but I'm not interested. Thank you for the compliment, but you know, okay, fine. Then move on. You don't get that when someone respects you and say, you know what, I'm thank you for the comment, thank you for the greeting, but I'm not really interested in you. They'll come out in their mouth and say something very, very disrespectful. And that's more on a regular these days than a respectful comment in return.
But David,
So it's not about
you asked my question though. I'm saying when you
okay.
said, or when you hear this commentary says, "Oh, stop dating, just go out and build yourself up and whatnot." What at the end of the day, what do you mean? So
Meaning, yeah,
don't have a relationship with a woman, or even if you build yourself up, is that going to make you less or more vulnerable to the type of women that you're talking about? So I mean, what is
now
like I hear that I'm still not seeing. I don't think that's a like I said, the building up again. You need to be doing that whether it's a woman or not.
and you're correct. And what
So
I'm hearing from most
this
guys, they're saying that
I
when
just
you
don't.
build up, I break it out. They feel like when you build up on your lane, they say the one that really like you will come along. And that's not always the case. So that was being put out there. Yes, you're
But
building
again,
yourself
but you may attract more of based on what you're saying. You may get more of the ones that you don't want than the ones that you do. Because everyone's going to want to be attracted to the guy who's got his bag together. But what about the one who saw you when you didn't have anything? What about the one who was with you on the come up?
That's a good,
So
that's a
again, is
good
that going
point.
to make you more? How do you know then you get to this whatever this level is that everybody wants to talk about? You get there, and then what? You meet somebody. How do you know that they're there for you, or how do they know they're simply there because of the resources you can provide?
And I'm glad you mentioned that because that was something that when I first heard that statement, the first came to my mind is exactly what you said. But my issue is that if you want someone to build themselves up without making no attempt to talk to any woman, how will you know who's looking for you while you're looking for them? That's where it makes it very complicated because I hate to say it, man, you don't know this. The sisterhood not to tell a certain female, don't waste your time on that female. He's not worth it. Look at him. He's a bum. He's not making X, Y, and Z. Wait for him to become a finished product. That's the agenda that's been passed down on the opposite side of the road. Because 9 times out of 10, a lot of guys go out there when they don't have it all together, but they're working towards it. But they get shut down for that. So when they get shut down multiple times, now the men of yesterday, no, the men of today's generation are not built to turn the men of yesterday's generation. I'll be real frank with you about that. Not a lot of these men out here were raised by strong fathers, or they have mentors who teach them how to conduct themselves. We see it out in the public every now and then. I'm in Brooklyn, New York. You see people want to be. Sometimes I'll tell people like, hey, it's not worth it. Just leave them alone. Walk away from it. Just be a bigger man. The term "be a bigger man" it's almost like you want to throw that out the window now. Because I'm in this city. It's messed up on my feet. No big deal. But let us make the neck put. Hey, they lose it. It's like I said, the pandemic broke it down whereby people are emotionally fragile in a lot of sense. Some don't know how to control their emotion or control their impulse. And it's more trigger than them laughed out. But they know how to control it when they're at their job. The moment they're at their job, it's like we took off the glove, we took off the restraints. And that's what I've been observing for a while. So it's a mixed bag, a mixed complication situation. But I'm thinking what we having here is a society that is stuck on social media, stuck on dating app, but refuse to walk away from that and get back to the old school way of doing things. Thanks, John Mike. It's a long time we see you here. I think that's what the number one issue is because I prefer let's go to the park, let's chill, let's have a conversation, let's go sightseeing. I prefer sightseeing. I prefer walking the park. I prefer the coffee date. This will allow me to interact with you and pick your mind. But these days, a lot of women don't want that. Oh, if you're not going to take me to the Fresco Grill and spend $400, $300, $200, not worth my time. And when you mention coffee, there's a new term. They don't call it coffee anymore. They call it bean juice now. I ain't want no bean juice.
Bean juice. I never heard of that term.
Where'd that come
not,
up with then? Where?
not the young, not the young generation now. They're calling coffee bean juice.
Oh my God.
So you can imagine the mindset of that. So if I want to have a coffee to interact with you and I'm wasting your time to do so, then by all means, carry on. These days they want you to empty your reach so that you bust your ass for. As if they're entitled to it. Why you think they were doing the thing? They were doing the meme throughout last year. When they had the twinkle, they had the drizzle. Man, say I'm doing my soft man era. I was like, I was laughing. It was comical. But that's what people are taking it to right now. Because one, no one wants to take the time and learn how to talk to one another or have a unique conversation or how to articulate themselves. They revert to name calling or you're weak. If you don't fit, I hate to say that, if you don't fit that today, predator know what a man's supposed to be, but it's not actually a man. It's more of a pookie or a very type of mentality. You're not a man. You're weak. And that's what I've seen. They keep changing the definition what it is by quote unquote the true definition. But when you tell them about it, man, that is whack. No, it's not whack. It's the facts. Because nowadays, no one want to be married. No one want to be a husband or wife. Oh, I would I have baby mom. I would I have a kid before I have a child. I've been saying this since high school. I've been saying this in high school. Why would you want to have a child before you get married? I said that was backward back then. They call me weird for saying that. So if I've been told in my neighborhood of New York City, Brooklyn, New York, when I was in high school that having a child before get married is weird, but if they're doing it until the present day, then what does that tell you about today's society norm? People are catching on to what is normal in the social media and say that it's what is not normal. That this is why this is why a lot of young generation are saying that the old generation don't understand what they are dealing with, and I get it. If you go out there, you walk the city, you see how people conduct themselves, see how people act. You watch it from a distance in the shadow and see how people communicate among themselves or how they interact. You try to ask yourself this question: is this what new generation gonna be like? God forbid that. Look at how they conduct them. Look how they dress. Look how they interact among themselves. Don't be a gentleman. If you're a gentleman, you're soft. You're weak. You're a simp. So you gotta be the villain now all of a sudden. That is the present norm now. Being a gentleman is considered to be outdated. If you think I'm wrong, on the other side of the fence, they attack women who want to be virtual women. If you're a virtual woman, you're weak, you're a pick me, you're this, you're that. You're willing to sit down and have a conversation over a cup of coffee. That's not a date. That is whack. You're wasting your time doing this. The art of communication is being pushed out on the women because no one wants to waste their time doing the thing that, well, if I'm going to talk to you, I got to charge you. I don't think you understand that, Mr. Bennett. Some female want to charge you to have a communication with, have a conversation with them now. If you will waste their time talking to them, they're going to charge you for that. You ever heard of that before, Mr. Bennett?
Well, of course, but it's
Brother David,
go ahead.
hold on just a minute. Brother David, when the last time somebody charged your ass to talk to him?
I didn't waste my time doing that everything when I hear that a lot.
No, but listen, man, don't be listening to a lot of these. Man, listen, man, ain't no woman charging no man to
I
talk.
think it's a matter,
When you see YouTube
Coach.
and
I think it's a matter
TikTok,
of semantics.
let it
If
go.
the woman wants you to take her to Papados on the first date, then I guess they consider that a charge. Sorry. It's still the money that's being spent. It's like if you want their time, then yeah, take me somewhere nice or spend some money on me or something to that matter. I think that's what he's saying. I don't think it's like
You get it.
this isn't 1-900 anymore, but I get what he's saying in that regard. But
They change it.
If you really
So when's
think
the
about
last-
it, if you
but
take
do
her out
you-
for dinner or coffee,
but
you're still spending money no matter what.
Yeah, but they don't like that.
Yeah, but that's always been a thing.
They don't like
though.
that. They want the classy day.
When-
They want you to take it somewhere you spend $200-$300. That is charging you. A lot of guys complain about that, whereby
A lot
they
of
go
women don't
there
even know where that place is.
on these dates trying to have a conversation, but she's ordering the whole entire menu. By the time you look at the bill, you're like, "What you taking me for?" And they're walking away. So yeah, there are a lot of young guys, and they have been posting this a lot on TikTok and other sort of way. They take a woman out to the restaurant. They want to have a nice date. They want to sit down and talk while he's trying to converse with the woman. What's she doing? Oh, let me get this. Let me get. You're not even trying to interact with the individual. Just how much they get out of his pocket. That's why some men say let's do coffee date first before I even go to that level. So yeah, they're charging, but they figure out how to go around that.
But is it, David? Is it more about? Because I like I said, I like the idea of coffee date. I'm not poo pooing that, but some play the long game too, though, right? So how many coffee dates before, if the ultimate goal is Papados or say at minimum Ruth Chris, then it does. If it's 2 coffee dates, 3 coffee dates, or whatever, what if she's just patient? She gonna get you one way or another, right? Or is she gonna be that type of person who's gonna be like, either, hey, she doesn't need that, or to have a good time with you, or if y'all going on and say, nah, you ain't taking all of that, I got it. If you want to be in a modern parlance,
I get it because in my
if she gets you to a point after 4 or 5 coffee dates that now she got you spending big money on, you think she's worth spending money on, what's the difference?
and I get you coming because I'm old school. I'm more like coffee date would be the first introduction. After that, either walk in the park or we go to the museum. We enjoy our time, or you go ice skating, or you go rollerblading. You do something activity. Those are old school days whereby you get to know that person. You want to take her to a nice wine, okay, the cheesecake factories, the whatever we will call it. It was a pathway to that. But these days they want to fast forward that process. I'm trying to get to know and see if you're ready to have fun. Ready to go bowling, ready to go roller skating, do some real fun activity together like a couple would like to do. Those things have been scratched off a lot of time. The more the what can I get out of your pocket? I don't mind going to the museum. I don't mind going rollerblading. I don't mind going roller skating. I don't mind going bowling or go right whatever. Anything that be entertaining, but it build the connection. But I don't hear a lot of people say they're doing that.
Well, certainly, I think connection is important, and I think that's why I was saying after Comic-Con the other week. I mean, go to places where you find people who enjoy those activities. If Comic-Con, if they're doing some dating, meetup sort of events at Comic-Con, or like I said, if you're into WWE, whatever, find someone in those environments, the things that you enjoy doing, and that they're going to be there because they simply enjoy being at the event. It's just a matter of, do you want to do this together? So again, I think where you meet people, I think meet people who share your interests, rather than someone who's just trying to get someone out of you. So so common ground. If you like If you like museums or whatever, yeah. I mean, find someone there.
Quiet King, you're funny.
But also, David, you kind of know the woman if she's just going after your pocket or your bank account. You know she is from the beginning like that. That's all she's gonna be talking about. She's gonna be talking about money, or you get the red flags off the bat.
Yeah, but these days, a lot of guys are finding out that people are playing the long game. They're trying to play it off. So some understand, okay, let's play along with this game. When I get what I want, then boom, I'm out. But like Mr. Bennett said, some people can be patient. So it becomes very complicated. That's what the issue is at hand. Some people are great actors. They pretend they're interested in you until they get what they need to get. Now, God forbid you're a self-made man already. You're a finished product. Ugh.
Let's get Mariana her opinion about this. She's a woman. Come on, Mariana.
Obviously.
Gee, thanks, Paul.
The first one Quiet King said it was funny.
You teed that up, man.
I like the first one he said. The first comment he made, Quiet King, man. The 3 months sober.
Oh my God.
Good for him. Seriously, keep it up. I want to hear I want you to let us know when you're 6 months.
Ooh.
All right, go ahead, Mariana.
I don't know. Like, what is the question? I'm sorry. Just I kind of got a little lost.
Like David just said,
Mm-hmm.
the problem is most women want the high and dining, the big bank accounts, the guy who's making $500,000 a year, all this stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think, like I said, you kind of tell when a person is like that from the beginning?
Yeah. From the beginning, if you hear, oh, can you, if she mentioned a list of things that's kind of bougie, stop. Stop. Say, I'm not going to go any further because all you want is my money to spend on you. And then I'm basically have nothing left. You have to put a stop. There's no deal breaker. So, I mean, you cannot, like, she want to say, oh, I want to go to, I don't know, it could be a fine dining steakhouse or a vineyard. All those. I mean, what's wrong with going, I don't know, McDonald's or go to Wendy's? I mean, it's basic.
So
Or
okay, so
Starbucks.
all right, so Mariana, let me ask a follow up then. So let's say you have a son
Mm-hmm.
of dating age.
Mm-hmm.
What advice would you give to that son? He meets a girl,
Mm-hmm.
he kind of likes her,
Mm-hmm.
he wants to kind of take her out or what have you. What would you tell him in terms of, okay, what's a good, says, Mom, I'd like to take her out. What do you think would be a good first date? What would you tell him?
Well, I will say, son, take coffee date. I'm gonna make a dinner at home I want to meet this girl because I want to know who she is because I want to make sure that she's not playing with my son. I also want to talk to her, to know what she's like. There's nothing wrong with that. This is my son because I'm going to be protected. I'm going to protect my son. Ask, do you see yourself in the, near future with him? Do you want to, do you see long term to get married? I mean, there's nothing wrong with that because that's, to me, that I'm going old school. I'm sorry, this is how I was brought up. So I'm not gonna have my
Just to be
son.
clear,
Yeah, yeah.
so in your mind, the
Mm-hmm.
first date
Mm-hmm.
should be at your house and meeting
Yes.
this girl for the first time. So you
Yeah.
don't think so you wouldn't approve of your son going out with her a few times and
No,
saying, "Hey,
like
Mom, I've met a
Mhm.
girl. I've seen her a few times. I like her, and I'd like you to meet her." You're saying the first date you would
No, the first
prefer
date will be
that
more like she could, take her a coffee date or take her to the movies. And then, then you get used to it and get to know. And then, after a few dates, like couple times movies or couple times going to the coffee shop or going maybe concerts, whatever the case is. And then when you telling me like 3 months from now, when he started dating, then I want to be introduced by his girlfriend. So I, need to know. So it's gonna take a while to,
Ariana,
yes.
I'm gonna tell you right now, as a friend, and I love you to death, you're gonna embarrass
Mm.
your son so fucking bad.
Well, the thing is, I'd rather have him not get hurt because I need to know.
Well, you ever seen a 4-year-old version?
Yes, that's
You're gonna probably have a
unfortunate.
60-year-old version in your hands.
No, you're crazy.
Listen, Marianne, like I said, and I get some like, look, I'm the guy
It's
who
not
keeps
that
That's
bad.
here
too
saying,
true.
I'm the guy up here saying that again, you
Mhm.
shouldn't be with anybody for more than 6 months before you guys are talking next
Mhm.
level. So I'm the one. So I'm the guy who, yes, I definitely agree. If you can meet the parents early,
Mhm.
in the setup, if again, but that to me, if and again, the caveat is this: if you're intentional about wanting marriage or that kind of long-term relationship, I wouldn't waste my time just dating somebody for months and months, whatever, without
Mhm.
knowing the family or getting into that dynamic. I think 6 months is plenty of time
David, you go next. Don't
before
worry.
you can say that, okay, this is a go or no go. So I like the idea of, if this person's really serious or whatnot,
Mhm.
getting to meet you as soon as possible. I was just thinking when you first said it, I was thinking like the first date she should meet you or something like that. I thought
That's
that
what
was
I thought too.
Yeah, I thought, I'm
that
like,
was
wait a minute, that's too soon. I'm like, wait a minute, let him. Yeah, so,
okay.
so.
Hold
Go
on,
ahead,
hold on,
David. Go
hold,
ahead.
hold on. I don't understand what's going on here. Did anyone forget this movie called Bad Boy? When this particular dude came over to Martin Lawrence's house
That's not
to
fair.
pick up.
He was in high school. The dude was in high school. He was in
I
high
don't want to hear.
school.
I don't want to hear it.
Yes, you got
I
to
do
get
not want to
Oh
hear
shit!
it.
Yeah, you can.
No, high school. We're not talking high school here. We're talking grown people, and that sort of thing. No, I'm not going to say high school. That counts. But again, but to that point though, he knew the kid knew if he wanted to date the girl, he had to deal with the dad, and the guy was enough in order to stick around. So
Thank you. But people acting like, oh, the first date should not come to the house. Dude, that was a good old day back there. And you want to date my daughter, you got to meet the pop first. I need to know who my daughter going out with. So why all of a sudden right now you got to put a time barrier, 3 months typically before you meet the parent? Why not?
No,
Okay,
but that's high school. High school, yes. That's high school. High school, you can't. We talking adults. 21, 25, you have no restrictions on where your limitations on where you can go, right? So your children are not going to be around you as adult
and I get
when
and
they
I
meet
and
a
I get
man.
it. It depends on how you eat.
But it is important within that first 3 months, 90 days or so, they should be meeting other family members who respect you, who you respect. I'll say that.
I get
Whether
it
it's
because
mother, father, uncle, big brother, whoever you respect to give you good advice, I would recommend, hey, let's go see my uncle Bennett. Let's go see my uncle. Because he gonna give him that real conversation he needs to hear about that woman. But a lot of people shy away from it because a lot of them don't understand that experience early enough to have that conversation, because most fathers who have access on a daily basis with a child would tell their child, whether it's the perfect message or not, some message of, hey, you're not just going to date any type of guy. A lot of times when they with the mother, they just have to figure it out, because a lot of the younger, I ain't gonna say young, it's still older women got teenage children, still bring various men around their children. So they don't even have those conversations. And most people who don't live an accountable life don't hold their children accountable. So again, I think it's important, if you want to be that type of man in your life and you got nieces and nephews, talk to them. Hey, let me meet all the boyfriends. Oh, Uncle Craig, No, yes, let me meet him. I can tell you if he's a good guy, if he gonna break your heart, cheat on you, because he gonna
Right.
ask the most tough
Now,
questions.
Coach, now back in the day, let's say if you had a daughter, would you expect the guy to, and if your daughter lived at home with you, should the guy come to the house, knock on the door, and you open the door and you greet the young man before, the woman takes him out? Are you old school like that, or?
I'm gonna do it the same way. To answer your question, yes. And I'm gonna do it the same way that it happened with my 5 sisters,
Mhm.
with my dad.
Talk on it. Talk on it.
You had to, and my father wasn't no welcome, come on in. What the hell you want, boy? I'm here to see. Speak up, little stupid ass boy. He goes straight at him. And don't come in my house. Don't come in my daddy's house with your hat on. Don't do it. I used to tell my friend, take your hat off. Listen, my father would go ham. Hey, little stupid ass. Take your hat off. Did your mama teach you no home training? And those guys, as they got older, respected my father to the utmost because he held them to a standard. Now, my sisters, of course, once they got outside the house, they did what they did, but then none of them bring home no babies in high school. They was all adults. They was all out of school, graduated
Coach,
high
make it
school.
understand correctly. Your
So-
dad did his version of the Bad Boys thing, pretty much.
Yes. Even with me, if I brought a girl over, who's this? That was my mother. Who's this? Okay, we'll talk later. That's what she'll say. We'll talk
Your dad was
later.
a hero. Let's remember that.
I mean, he was just being a father and having that access to all of us. He had that authority, and he had, yes, bring him, let him meet that person that you respect. Even for young people,
Well,
let
that's
them
what's
meet.
needed, but they walk away
You know.
from that. That's what I'm saying. Sometimes you want to get that gatekeeper who want to make sure, prevent the one from. This is why we have what we have in today's society. There's no gatekeeping.
It's
That needs to be
interesting.
But Brother
There's no
David, you right. You
Yeah,
right.
yeah,
in
let's
the
get
thick
Sean
of
in.
it
Let's
right
get-
Let's
now.
not go.
We're in
Because
the
he's
thick
being
of
very
it.
quiet.
That's those hyenas y'all was talking about. And even a hyena can be tamed by somebody by a trainer that they respect. That's why I said the comment earlier. Because if they respect somebody, you can say, go sit your ass in that corner and be quiet. And guess what they're going to do? Go sit their ass in that corner and be quiet. Problem is, we're losing respect or trust within our communities. And there's a lot of different reasons for that. I ain't even going to sit there and go into that rabbit hole. But the point being is that it boils down to you receive it from who you respect or who you trust. You could trust a stranger because you feel like you don't have the excuse of they're going to attack you or they're throwing something in your face because they don't know you. So you don't have that excuse. And a lot of people like to use that excuse or use that reason of why somebody is sharing information with them that can be valuable to them when they don't want to receive it. So it boils down to they hear you, they just don't want to receive it. Those hyenas know what they're doing. They just want to be hyenas. Because once again, if somebody come in that they respect, and a lot of times it ain't the person that they respect, it's the money that the person has or the accolades that the person has that they respect. Because those hyenas go to work and they respect their bosses because there's a reward with money. So if in fact if they respect the money and you got the money, you could talk to them however they want, however you want, and they're gonna receive it. So let's stop using the excuses of they just don't know how. They just don't respect what it is that they don't want to respect. They just don't hear what it is that they don't want to hear, because basically when you give somebody a rule who's been unruly and had no rules, they resist it, and that goes any gender. But specifically women, they definitely already have a spirit sometimes of being rebellious. So it's like a child sometimes has a spirit of being rebellious. So when you bring rules and regulations, they react accordingly, and that's where we get our hyenas, and that's where we get our all of these out of line people, whether they be women, whether they be kids, whether they be men. They out of line because they don't want to respect authority. They don't want to have any rules or regulations. But if you go to if traffic and roadways didn't have rules and regulations, we'll have a chaos of a bunch of vehicles. We need rules and regulations, and that's what a lot of times we present. So if you got a single mother, for example, she's even worse because she hasn't had to do anything but give rules. So when a man is presented and he's presenting rules, she really starts rebelling, like who you think you are and all of that other stuff, simply because she naturally has been unruly for that long. So now she doesn't really want to accept the fact that somebody is presenting rules or suggesting rules or demanding rules. And that's what it boils down, in my opinion.
Mhm. All right, before we move on, hey, Mariana, as a woman, do you agree with what Sean just said?
Yeah, most definitely. I I mean, there's no
All right.
question about it. I mean, I don't know what else can I say. So,
All right. UK, you there, bud? I have a question for you now. I think you walked away for a minute. I'll get him when he comes back. David, you had something to say?
What Sean said is totally on spot on, but that is something that I've been observing in the shadow because you don't have to be the most handsome guy. As long as you have the weight, aka the resource, the money, they'll bend over backward for you, which is sad. This is what society has to become. Whoever got the money, whoever got the resource, they'll bend over backward. You could be a respectable person and not have the resource. They're not going to show you respect unless that person was brought up in a realm of respect. That'll be a different story in itself. Other than that, it's a common denominator. Some people say, who the highest bidder? I mean, they will sell themselves to the highest bidder, which is sad, but let's face the reality. Where we have so much, that's what I'm saying. Some of the good virtual women are ending up hiding themselves among the so-called sisterhood because they don't want to be pointed out or be targeted out or how you want to say singled out. But those who are not afraid of that, they don't care to get caught, pick me, whatever. They'll kick to themselves and their father sister. They want to build themselves in a proper manner. This is why I say for young men who are watching what some of us are going through, they say, I want to watch from a distance. If I find what I'm looking for, then I'll approach her. If I approach her, I show her some respect and talk to her in a way, and she come up the wrong way, I'll go back into my shadow and then keep it pushing. Nowadays, young generation are now learning how to watch and observe people in their own environment, how you want to call it, their own habitat. If she's a virtual woman, she'll conduct herself as such. If she's not, she'll be just like the hyena that are out there or those in the so-called sisterhood. Because, like I said, a lot of women are not brought up to be women. There's no more charm school or program that close to like charm where they teach them how to walk or how to conduct themselves or how to sit. I've seen women on buses and subway don't sit like a woman. They sit like a dude. But they're like a dude that have the same thing we have. So it's been going on for a while. It has.
Mm-hmm.
So you cannot say that's not the case. I'm in the most craziest city, and sometimes I don't sit near. I keep to myself and I watch from a distance to see how people conduct themselves, how people act, and people when they not know they're being watched, they'll conduct themselves as such. If they're virtual, they'll conduct themselves as virtual. If they're not, you see it in plain sight.
David, I have a question. Who was going to charm school back in the day?
Oh,
Hang on, Coach. I have not met one woman, let alone a sister, go to charm school. Like all this stuff came out in this manosphere space.
no,
Spend all this
Yeah,
money to
wasn't
go
no
and
charm
learn how to
school.
be some sophisticated. I mean,
Man.
look, the 1% may have that, but I mean, Mariana, do you know any woman who was sent to a charm school or some sort of etiquette school? Look, maybe I mean, we learned cooking in home ec in like 5th grade, and
But
everything
they
else
ain't
you learn from your mother
that one
or your
out.
father if he cooks. I mean, where are we getting all this stuff that modern women have to go to charm school? I don't get this. I mean,
I saw this in movies. I said, "Oh, charm school." I'm like, "What the hell is that?"
no,
Like,
I mean, we talk.
The richest of the rich went to charm
yeah.
school. Us public school kids, you ain't go to none of
That's
that.
right.
Like you
I
said,
have
you
never
just
heard of it, through movies. I
I-
never seen it in real life. I
It's
thought that was just a
again in
made
this
up thing.
manosphere space. There's 1% space, and then every guy out there thinks he's going to be in the 1% club, and the likelihood is that you're not.
I remember Pier 20 did have a class for that for the women for the girls, and they're
Mhm.
teaching the girl how to sit down. But when you sit down, you want to cook. You're not openly you cross your leg a certain way. I was watching that when I was in the 5th grade. They were teaching girls how to conduct themselves. They have home economic class as well.
The only
So
thing I even know close to that, I know my church, they had a group for girls. I think it was called the Ebony Suburbanites. And what they would do is they were supposed to teach them some of these, some of the old school ladies of the church were supposed to be teaching these ladies some of the social graces or whatnot, and everything accumulated to they do this big sort of cotillion kind of function at the end of the year. They'd fundraise throughout the year, get some money, and then have this cotillion. But they were supposed to be learning all these social graces through these older ladies who were some of the most look, I'm not hating on them, but let's just say some of them old school ladies, I didn't find the nicest women in the world. Let's just say that they were the most sedity women I ever saw in my life. So I wouldn't have one of my daughters. In fact, I never had my daughters as a part of it when they were growing up because I just thought those women were way over the top with bougie, and so I left that alone. But yeah, but all this talk about, oh yeah, ladies, you need to don't go to college, go to charm school. I mean, it's ridiculous in my view. But I agree with what Sean was saying earlier. I mean, it's about respect. We've lost respect for people as human beings, and we have these images in our minds in terms of what's ideal. And if a person doesn't meet 99% of what you want, everything can be going good with a guy. You find one thing wrong, and you just let it go. Again, I think there's a lot of fear that's been driving the interactions between people, and everybody is just or thinking that there's some perfect person. And again, I think I even blame the churches for some of this, because some of the teachings as of late talking about, oh well, God has someone specifically for you. It's like, no, I think that's done a lot of damage, especially to Black women in the dating market and whatnot. They've been sort of fed this thing that you can be, you have a what's the lady Ruth, the book of Ruth, where you have the lady in there, she met her Boaz. There's a Boaz waiting for you. So all you gotta do is just wait, and God's going to send you a Boaz. I think that's ruined a lot of women in terms of, their these expectations that have been set so high that you have people, decent, good, fundamental, decent people who can get together can't, because they're hearing all this noise out here. So I just think,
You just said it, Paul. The expectations is way too high sometimes. Like, I go out with my friends all the time, and you see some of my friends they're in pretty good shape. They put themselves pretty well together, and women just flock to them. But they're not looking for that. They're already married or in a relationship, whatever. And those guys who are single, still good men, they don't want to go to them.
Yeah.
For some reason, they feel like a ring also means money,
and
that's not true either.
Yeah, but let's ask the woman on the panel. Mariana, what's up with the bad? Why do you guys like the bad boys? How come y'all weren't checking the Greeks and nerds like us, but you want the bad guy who was getting D's and F's in school and he played hooky most of the time, but he had the nice kicks.
Before you answer that,
and you went for him.
The nerds and the Spartans. Let's get it clear.
Right. So yes, you tell me. Yes, you give me some Since you're the only one we can reference here, so you give us some of that. Why weren't you checking for us?
I don't know. I'm sorry.
She's on the hot plate now.
Yeah, you put me in the hot seat, basically.
I'm just saying you're the only one who can give any insight into the female psychology. So I'm just trying to get some insight. Look, I mean, you obviously you were in high school. I don't know if you went to college or not, but I mean, you've been around
to college, yeah.
So you've been in the ladies' rooms and whatnot. You know what's being said. What is going on? Why is it that the nice guys? Why do we have to finish last for so long?
I don't know, to be honest. I don't know. Some of them are like, I deal with all women, all walks of life. You have a woman that's married, one woman in the middle of divorce. I mean, none of them, like, it's almost like some of them are happy, some of them are not. Like, they really, like, I understand you have to do it for the sake of your kids, but I know that in the midst of it, it's almost like they're very indecisive. Like, I don't know, like, and it's and it's sometimes when they telling me this stuff, they confuse me. And I said, you know what? I don't want to be confused. I need to stay away. So I don't know, to be quite honest.
Let me add to that, because when Paul said the
no, you can't answer that. This is this stay in your lane.
I'm not asking. I want to add to what you just said, because I've been in the Midwest. I've been to Kentucky. I've been to Florida. And I've seen some of these black churches. Some black churches are having these type of charm life school program. In some cases, some hold it for a certain period of time, some drop it. Now, if you talk about the Latin community, that is a cultural thing among them, like a rite of passage. So sometimes it's been held down by certain ethnic groups. They have that within their community because they want to make sure their daughters are raised properly.
But I don't consider that. Like I said, they're raising those programs again. It was about social grace and social class. It wasn't about femininity, though. You know what I'm saying? It was basically how to hold a fork or how to curtsy. Basically, is what they were teaching these girls. But it wasn't anything in terms of how to get along with people, how to be sociable or what have you. I think men, honestly, most guys I know, unless you are in that 1%, you go into all these social clubs and meetings or whatever, we don't care about that stuff. So again, a lot of that, that's not what I'm, talking about. So again, charm school. Yeah. I mean, how to hold a conversation. Yeah. I think that's a vital skill for anybody. I mean, and Coach and I talk about that all the time, certainly within the within our show. So again, how to network, how to converse, how to hold a conversation. Those are things that we take on, but you need to know those anyway. But as far as how to be all these social graces and etiquette, that's not what I'm talking about, because etiquette at the end of the day isn't necessarily going to get you a person. So, so I just want to be clear on what I was referring to there.
I actually have a question for our UK brother over there overseas where you are. Do you see the same problems there that we have over here?
Good question.
Craig, yeah, the question.
Craig, if you're talking, you're muted, sir.
No, I'm not talking to you. I was talking to the wife. Sorry.
All right. So, did you hear my question? Let me ask again.
Ask again.
So, over there in UK, do you have the same problems that we have over here in America?
Yeah.
Please explain.
Low self-esteem. They don't have much respect for themselves, so they don't really want to talk to a woman. They see a beautiful woman, yeah, and they're like, crap, I'm not any good for her. If that makes any sense.
I think a lot of men suffer from that, to be honest with you, now in 2025.
Well, they would rather stick their head in their phone than pay attention to anything else.
But why does she have to be beautiful like that, though? Because the problem we're seeing here is
I has to be attracted to her.
I get attraction.
Yeah.
Attraction
But
doesn't
he
have.
doesn't feel like he's good enough for her.
Okay.
Get what I'm saying? Yeah.
Okay, so you're not talking about talking to like dime people, like 10 level 10 women or whatever. You talk about in his mind, he finds her attractive, but the fact that he finds her
woman.
attractive, that's
Any woman.
intimidating enough so that he's not going.
They
over
don't
it.
have to be attractive. Yeah.
Right.
It's for any woman. It's for him to decide. Yeah.
Right.
And it's how he feels. Whereas me, I was the opposite, and I said something to Nikki when I first met her, and I said 2 words, but I'm not going to say it on here because it's rude.
And she still married you anyway. And
Why
she's
am
still-
I
and she-
not
and
surprised?
she's still married, which you also thank you, Craig, because you just answered the question for the show. As far again, it doesn't matter about talking to a woman or what you say or whatever. It's about talking to the right one.
Yeah.
Who's gonna vibe with the way you vibe. Because I've shared, like, my wife, I didn't like her the first time I met her. Because I thought she was kind of rude to me the first time I met her.
She was shy.
Yeah. And my wife was like,
she
yeah.
was shy.
Yeah. So it's like we didn't necessarily hit it off the rip. It took a while before her friend suggested that I take her out. But it wasn't love. It was like, oh man, I'm so what can I say to her and whatnot? Nah, I thought she was kind of rude. So,
Yeah.
but things over time. We had lunch on a regular basis. There was a group of us. We had lunch together all the time. We talked and everything. So I got to know her a little bit. But her friend was like, "Yeah, you need to take her out." And then that's when I introduced my document, and that's when everything kind of went from there. But again, it was she was a bit of a hard shell the first time I met her. So again, like I said, a lot of times it doesn't matter necessarily what you say. And in your case, like I said, you said something that you don't even want to repeat on the show. So obviously it had to be something that was, but she still married you anyway. So again, your person's going to be your person. But now, having said that, had you said nothing, then nothing would have happened then. So I would say to any guy, I say, look, say something. Like Craig, Coach would say, just say hi.
You have to take the first step.
Yeah.
I think the problem is, to be honest with everybody, is it doesn't matter if she's a 9, a 10, or a 1. If you're the 1 or 10 in your eyes is a 10, no matter what. All right, I think we all can agree on that. Like for you, Paul, for example, your wife has been a 10 since day 1 for you, correct?
Well, not since day 1, because like I said, I thought she was very rude.
No, I mean attraction-wise, not talking about personality.
No, it wasn't. Well, again, attraction didn't come until later. One, again, she was rude. Secondly, she was much taller than I wanted. I said I wanted someone about 5'2" to 5'5". You see my wife, she's an Amazon. She's a Dora Milaje. So that wasn't in the cards either. But I mean, I could say she was attractive enough. I mean, I asked her out, but I'm just saying, but she, it wasn't like, oh my God, she was just so, but yeah, it's something
that kind of backfire what I'm trying to say here. So in the woman you're attracted to might be a 10 for you. For somebody else, might be a 1. It doesn't matter.
I agree.
Okay, so you guys on the same page. So when it comes to at least a single man, even including myself sometimes, to be honest, you feel like you're not good enough because the society has beat the shit in your head. You're not good enough. You need to do this. You need to make this. You need to do that. Whatever it is, it's been beating in our heads for so many years. And trying to get it out. It's the hardest thing in the fucking world sometimes. Like saying, you know what? I am good enough. I am going to say hi to her. And sometimes it backfires, and I'm okay getting backfired. And, getting turned down. That's fine.
Been there.
We all been there.
Yeah.
Have you been there? Coach, you been there before you got married?
He's a handsome fella. He can pull anyone he likes.
Coach had muscles at 12, man. So
12. He was in the
He was
womb.
born. He
He
was
came out
born with
with
abs.
muscles.
Hey, what was that?
Like
What was that?
before
Sparta?
you married your wife, you got turned down multiple times, right? By the woman.
I mean, over the course of time,
Thank you.
yes,
That's
yes.
my point.
But just to make it, better understanding of myself, um, I understood that not every woman liked somebody who either looked like me, my height, my build. I understood that. I understood that out of the 10 women I may try to, hey, hello, how you doing? 5 of them might not even be attracted to me. And and 3 of the 5 that I'm attracted to initially may not even have the personality that I like. So I'm down to 2. And out of those 2, I went with the one who was mostly wanting to be in my space. Somebody, if I called, she was actually, hey, what are you doing? I'm not doing anything. You mind meeting me? You mind if I come over? That's what I focused on. So I didn't waste a lot of time because a woman that I was attracted to, hey, how you doing? I don't like light-skinned guys. I've heard this a million times. Oh, I'm sorry. You limit your options. That's all I say. I didn't go off of complexion. It didn't matter. My favorite that I liked that never used to give me to play was a tall woman, a 6-foot woman. They never gave me to play. I think I got one that she was cool, but she was shiesty in the end. So that was a quick-lived relationship. But I like women with thick glasses, like so thick
Coke
you can
bottom.
see the bifocal rings in their glasses. They always had nice bodies, and they were always nice. I like women that were really, really dark skinned. I don't know why. Just her. I like women with nappy hair, like just
So in other words, you want me to put a wig
He
on
he wants he
Paul and
wanted
send him over to
He wanted a Dora Milaje. That's what I'm saying. He wanted a Wakandan woman. That's what he wanted. Short hair,
yeah.
thick, chocolate.
It wasn't necessarily short because some of them had long kiki hair,
I can do one even
But
better for you,
I
Coach.
like
I
the
can put a
woman.
wig on Paul and send him over to you.
What is he doing?
No, listen. I like the woman who loved herself
See,
naturally
and I totally agree what you're
and
saying.
who was selfless to other people. I like somebody who liked to give other, not giving material things, but maybe give some time, things like that. I'm always attracted to those
All right,
type
so
of
hang on. So we got some cooperation in the back here. So Craig has been working it for a while. So again, your wife, she doesn't have to cam up, but certainly if she wants to give her insights on why is it that a lot of the ladies are passing up on guys or what have you, her opinion on the matter. If she just wants to speak freely, she doesn't have to cam up, but certainly we can give her the floor
We
that
will
she would
make an
grace us.
exception for her.
If she could grace us with her presence or her voice, we'd appreciate it.
And a lot of it can be past relationships, and that can make you not confident. If you've been in a relationship that is abusive in any way whatsoever, then that can affect your thoughts on a future relationship, because you could lose your self-confidence.
Good point. Very good point.
I agree 100% because I'll use me as the guinea pig tonight. Like for years and years and years, I got beat in my head. You're fat. You're stupid. You're not worth anything. You're fat. You're stupid. You're worth nothing. You're fat. You're stupid. You're worth nothing. So imagine for about almost 40 years, like 39 in a month, I got still say that got beat in your head. My confidence level sunk straight down. Even when I go out, You guys know I go out. My buddy DJ's down the street from me. I go, I hang out with him and stuff like that. It's zero confidence. Completely zero. I'll be straight up to tell you guys that. And I don't say that out public. Like, you guys know me, how confident I'm usually am. You guys been around me a lot. Paul, you've been around me. How cocky and confident am I really?
Very much so.
You're nuts.
Mariana.
You'll speak to people.
Yeah. Mariana, how confident am I? You've been knowing me for more than anybody on this panel.
I mean, you're confident, but you're very humble.
Thank you.
So,
David, you've been around with me a couple of times. How confident and cocky am I?
You can be cocky sometimes, but you do come up humble. So you're trying to push that confidence up. But I can tell there's a level of humbleness whereby you try to know where you stand at.
Of course.
You're trying to go up and beyond. You know where you are in life. So this is you.
I go above and beyond for my friends, for my family, and for my teammates. You guys. So that's a different type of conversation. But my point's trying to get to, you guys, I'm a very confident person, and like, put me in the kitchen, trust me, I can rock anything. And Mariana has seen me work, and she I trained her. Come on, like it wasn't for me, you wouldn't be in there. True or false, Mariana?
yeah, true, definitely
So,
true.
when it comes up to talking to the opposite sex, sometimes at a bar or something like that, those words keep coming back in my head all the time. And I've been trying to work on that personally, to be honest with everybody. You're like, you're fat, you're stupid, you're not worth anything. That's what I got beat up to. And that's a trauma I deal. And what UK's wife is saying. It's past trauma sometimes.
Her name's Nikki.
Thank you
like
for
giving you
participating, Nikki. We appreciate it.
Tell her thank you from the team.
She can hear you.
All right. So we'll be coming up soon again. Don't worry, guys.
Yeah.
Take it
Nice.
on camera. Her Facebook.
Listen, I'll make an exception. She doesn't even have a camera. As long as she has a mic. But seriously, like, a lot of men have a hard time going up there. Like, I've been in a situation like, I go say hi to her. Like, she goes, nope, don't even try. I'm like, the fuck?
No.
She goes, your beard's too white. I'm like, what the fuck's wrong with my beard? I've heard every excuse in the book, but I still try.
Mhm.
But most men now these days don't even want to try anymore.
Yeah. I
And
mean,
when you
it's
get desperate. That's the other problem too. When you get desperate, like, man, I just want to meet somebody. And like, I've been single for too long, and you're just, if you like, the desperate is like a scent. Like my beagle going after fucking food. It's not a good scent. Now you're very confident, like, you don't give a shit. You don't go up. If you don't go talk to them, they come to you for some fucking real reason. That's the funniest part to me. I never understood that.
Mhm.
But yeah. So guys, we're going to be like 10 minutes last to the show. Paul, you guys want to say before we go into final thoughts? I don't want to cut you off.
No, it's just what you were saying about trying. But the only thing, and I've talked to you about this personally,
Okay, go ahead.
where you shoot your shot, I think also matters.
Mhm.
I mean, you want to, anywhere and everywhere is fine. But again, if there's particular things that you want for your life, there's certain demographics that it's not worth shooting in. You might be able to get with someone there for the short term, but it may not be part of your long-term plan. So, you have to be logical about that also. I know there's certain women that certainly lately that you could, can get with, but again, is that what you want? And so you got to be honest with you,
Paul. Ever since we had that conversation in your car, I have changed my tactic. If you don't fall in my prescription, what I'm looking for, I'll be respectful. I'm not gonna be like, you know what? No, like I told one girl, we were hanging out, we were going around, and I told her, listen, I think we're in different vibes. I don't think you're looking for the same thing I'm looking for. And she returned and said to me, I think you're right. I respect that. She goes. And we moved on. We went our merry way.
Yeah. Yeah.
I can't tell you that from the beginning, from day one, because I got to know her at first a little bit. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Same thing for David. You know, I'm using David as an example. He's the only other single guy on here. But that's anybody who's trying to you. Okay, you met somebody. Okay, she has X, Y, and Z. Great. Then you can move on to step 2. Is start talking about marriage, seriously, like you always say.
Mhm.
But if she's not even worth that time, like, this is not gonna be worth my time. This better end it and move on. I'm not wasting my time anymore for
Yeah.
just getting the pee wet.
Yeah.
It's not worth it.
Yeah. I'm
All
glad
right,
you
guys.
made those changes for sure.
I'm sorry.
I'm glad you made that change and that.
Oh yeah, I
adjustment.
made a lot. Listen, I'll be the first one minute. I might be the guy who put this, a Frankenstein thing together, but I'm still learning as much as David is learning, as much as Coach is learning, as much as Greg is learning, as much as you are learning. You're learning things from this too. Is even Mariana. We're all learning from this shows. We're all growing. 2 years ago, when you first came on the camera the first time on my Hangout show, if you remember, that's when we first started. You evolved since then, 2 years ago. Or am I wrong? Paul?
I'm sorry. That's for me.
Yeah.
I don't know if I've evolved. I just share what I know. I mean,
No, I'm not saying that, but you have learned different experiences in life. You haven't
oh,
said
for
it.
sure.
Yeah,
It's
ever
right.
since you hooked up with me. Oh, that didn't sound
Yes.
right.
That is true. That is
Yeah,
true.
ever since we became good friends, I consider you one of my best friends. I
That
consider
is
David
true.
my best friend.
Yes. Certainly been exposed to a lot of, certainly a lot more things.
Yeah.
But again, but it started with saying, again, you made an offer, you made an appeal, and I said yes. I mean, again, I could have said no, I could have said I'm busy, I could have said a million other things. So again, the idea again of shooting your shot, that can never get out of your mind. And I think again, too many people are trying to land with too few. It's just what I said about the resumes or the job interviews. You're trying to land. You want to only put out a couple resumes here and there for a couple jobs that you really want. And I'm saying if you really want to, get your name out there, you got to sow liberally. You got to put out a lot of resumes to a lot of different employers.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of times, the job that's going to be for you it may be a job that you didn't even apply for. But because your stuff got out there and circulated, someone found my resume. So again, you got to have that mindset, I think, with everything. Or if you try to go for the low hanging fruit because it's easy to get, then again, is that going to be what you really want in the end? So again, what applies in life, what it applies in your career, it also applies in the dating market. I would never tell a guy to change up certain things. Yeah, I mean, your appearance, your hygiene. I mean, I think those are like basic things. Look clean, look, presentable in most social situations where you're outside. Take some. I'm not saying you got to, spend a lot of money or whatever, but again, take some pride in terms of your appearance when you're out. If you don't like your body, get into physical condition, get physically fit for your own sake. But obviously that's going to attract the opposite sex also when they see you looking a certain way. So all these things, you can certainly take on. But again, most of the things I would ask a guy to change or take on are going to be for his or even her, if I'm talking to a woman, her personal development. And then you just shoot your shot and see who receives what you're saying. But if someone's gonna like you, it don't matter what you say. That person's just gonna like you.
And that's true. So, all right, guys, let's get in our final thoughts. And
that would be mine. I would say use that as my final thought. And you can move on.
Okay. David, you first. You next then.
Final thought. This is one of the provoking conversation that you want to look at what is going on in reality. The art of communication is a much needed skill to develop over time for both men and women as well. But more so to men, you know what I'm saying? That how you communicate, how you have a conversation, how you articulate your point of view or your thought process it can determine or showcase the level of maturity that you have. I know today's society is going through a unique change as of lately, but still, do not sleep on building your communication skills. I kind of like enjoy having them conversations. That's why being a podcaster is not that hard for me to do so because it allows me to articulate my thought process or what's going through my mind and break it down in areas where I can do so. And from there, I learn from others as well. So, for all you guys out there, I'm not saying you should be a podcaster, but I'm saying work on your communication skills at hand. Increase your vocabulary, you must. But make sure you're confident what you're saying out of your mouth, all right? That is my final thought.
You up, coach?
Coach, wake up.
Well, another show, man. Another dollar. Yes, I'm tired. The girls are whooping my ass. But they did. They showed good today. They showed good today. Got some good progress. No, man, when it comes down to the whole forgetting how to talk to women, man, listen, there's no perfect formula. You know, you just gotta be, I guess, just learn to love yourself and respect yourself. And if you see a young woman or just in general, anyone that you're interested in, you know, only thing you can do is do your part. Speaking to them, hello, how you doing, would be a good start. Compliment a pair of shoes, something, that's respectable, and just spark a conversation. You know, if you're interested in, I would let them know early. I'm interested in getting to know you better. It's how you use your words, but don't expect everybody that you speak to want to talk to you. It's just part of the game, just part of life, part of relationships, and move accordingly. You don't have to get upset, but you may do the same thing to someone else that is maybe interested in you. So just be respectful about it. And it's not the only fish in the sea, is what my mom used to tell me. If you realize the fish, well, not calling women fish, but if you're not getting anyone to bite your hook in the pond on the east side, you might want to try the pond on the west side. So, yeah, nothing special about getting to know people. We've been talking to people all our lives. So don't listen to YouTube. Do it for yourself. Do it for yourself. And love self first. So that's all I got.
Final thoughts. I definitely agree with Coach Fur. You have to respect yourself and love. I mean, love yourself and respect yourself. With today's society, I don't want to go follow with how, you know, there's good men and there's bad men, and there's good women and there's bad women. With communication, how to talk, how to, how you carry yourself. um but you also have to, be respectful, but you don't want to be around individuals that carry that toxic behavior also, because I don't, I see that, and I had to avoid that. It's no need for that. Oh, look at this person, look at, what the hell she was, what she was doing, oh, what the hell she was wearing, all that. That's complete nonsense. This is what makes, a big turn off. So it's you just have to build your confidence, you have to love yourself. And if, if somebody reject you, just move forward. Don't, dwell on it. There's no point of dwelling on it. And I know, it's, life is hard as it is. I mean, oh, but you have to move forward no matter what. Sometimes, that's nature, I will say. And and it's important just to be around by positive individuals, and that helps you, and they give you confidence. They tell you you could do it. You need individuals like that. It could be your friend, could be your relative, whatever the case is. So that's my final thought.
Hello. My final thought is don't show off and be yourself. That's all I've got. Sorry.
That's a fine, dude. All right, thank you everybody for coming up tonight. I think it was a great show, a great conversation overall. Let's do a quick schedule update because I got some great announcements this week. We have some pretty cool guests coming up. All right, let's start with what is it? Oh, here tomorrow night. David and Wally will be talking about the big three. David, I'm going to trust you with the mic for not even 30 seconds. Really quick set, 5 seconds. Ready? Go.
All I'm gonna say, ladies and gentlemen, look forward for tomorrow. There'll be a unique conversation. We'll break down some of the myth, some of the nonsense, the shenanigans, and be clear. And what it's all about. That's just what it is.
And on Thursday, Paul and Coach will be talking about the power of networking. I might pop my head in. I got a couple of my opinions I want to throw in there.
Okay.
I'm gonna try them. I might be a little late, but I might pop my head in there. You guys, anything to say on that before we move on to the next subject, to the next show?
No. Well, again, this will be the last show in a series of shows on career development. So again, we've cut everything from looking for work, creating a resume, doing well in the interview, and now we're going to deal with the networking space. So again, hopefully it's been informational. Certainly encourage everybody to go back and watch some of the previous shows if you haven't seen them already. And hopefully there'll be some good information that you can take and use in your pursuits.
All right, great. And on Friday, this one Paul is very excited about. So Sean will be bringing his guest up, his first guest since he came aboard with us. Special Ed is going to be his special guest on Friday. Yes, the Raptor guys, Special Ed. I know Paul is pretty excited about that. So
yeah, definitely one of my favorites from back in the day. So
yeah, so we're definitely looking for that. And on Saturday, we're going to be talking about the history of Battlefield. That's going to be an interesting conversation, right, David? So, Greg, you better join us on that one, definitely. So, and on Sunday, on the gray area, we have our special guest, 20-year veteran, comedian. I'm going to kill his name. So, Paul, can you please pronounce his name? I cannot pronounce his last name if my life depended on me.
Oh, geez, I'd have to bring it up. Give me. I'll come back to it, but keep talking until I find it again. Let me find your.
His first name is Joe. I can tell you that much. He sounds very excited to come on. I've been speaking to him for a while now. He seems like a straight guy, so I am looking forward to actually having a conversation with him.
Question.
Except that, tune into our shows this week. This is going to be a crazy week. I think we all can agree on that, right, guys?
Yeah, it's definitely just another hopefully positive chapter in the life of the Sparta HQ Network. Looking forward for big things, as we start to close out the year and plan for the next year. But yes, certainly I like the direction in which the channel is going in. And again, looking forward to very powerful content going forward. So,
yeah. Except that, guys. David, final words? Quick. Nope.
Oh, and then might say it's Buccino. Buccino. Buccino.
Yeah.
I would say Buccino. If
that sounds very, very Italian.
I might be Buccino. So
that's one of my questions. Are you actually Italian?
So yeah, we may explore that.
Coach, last words. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Guess not. UK. Last words.
Nope.
President. Witch doctor.
No.
Guys, as always, this was the Spartan HQ Network. I am the Spartan. He is Baby Groot, the coach, our man UK, the president, the witch doctor. Stay tuned. Come in. Please hit the like, share, and subscribe. This was a show of the shows. Thursday, we're ending the year, and we're hitting bangers towards the end. So make sure you hit the sub notification, all that nice stuff. As always, stay fresh, stay safe, and I'll see you guys on the next one.